Hello, my name is Sharif Powell, and today I'm going to be going over a technique that a lot of you may or may not know about. It's actually the creative process. Hello, my name is Sharif Powell, and today I'm going to be going over a technique that a lot of you may or may not know about. It's actually the creative process of taking a game from a sketch or taking a pure concept piece and taking it all the way to the end as a final piece in a game. The creative process is really important because it's basically how we get from one end to another. So in the beginning, we have conceptualization, which is basically a huge fancy word for like we need to make a lot of ideas and we need to make them now. So basically somebody will come in with an overall idea or view of the game. So it's up to the artists to come up with and get a feel for the general world. And that means anything from environments to props to things that you think would be seen on a daily basis in this world, and the characters, the people who inhabit the world. We're definitely in control of like what is visually seen in this game and what's going to be the overall feel and impact of the game that's going to leave hopefully an impression on the people who play it. Just like how we leave an impression or throughout history, how we leave impressions, how great artists have left impressions on their art, through many years, and that is true for video games. The only difference is as where we used to stand and look at art, now we get to interact with it basically, and we can experience it and walk through someone, through someone's vision, or through someone's art, and that is a really great experience that we have come to now here in the 21st century, is that we have the ability to experience an immersive inclusion, to be in someone else's world, to be in someone else's fantasies, and that is really great. So after the conceptualization phase of like making the stuff and getting a whole general idea together, we move on to making an asset list, and an asset list is basically another funny word for like, this is a list of everything we need done. Let's divvy it up and let's get it done. So basically, this is where the artist is transitioning from a two-dimensional plane to a three-dimensional plane using software as Maya, ZBrush, and a lot of other software that help us bring something from 2D to 3D. So that is a lot of, and it's actually very simple because if you know how to draw, or if you basically have an idea of something really laid out on a piece of paper, it's actually a lot easy to transition it over into a 3D plane or to a 3D environment with just a little practice and a little experience. So after all these things get made, what we have to do is add like color to them, or they seemingly will just be shapes inside of the world. This is pretty much the huge art factor that basically comes in. This is where we'll use programs like Photoshop, which is a very popular photo editing software, and what we'll do is we'll digitally paint textures onto a 3D model, which is basically, a texture is like taking taking a globe and laying it flat. So basically what we do is we essentially are taking our model or a 3D representation of whatever we have and laying it flat. So that lets us paint a texture on it. So then when we reapply it back to our three-dimensional object, it looks like there's a picture encapsulating the entire model. So from there we have a lot. From there, that's how we actually bring to life what we're making, which after that it goes through the assembly line, and it all gets arranged and put together in a fashion to where it's visually appealing, and then that's where the player is playing through the world and experiencing what the team of artists have put together. And see, I broke everything down into three basic steps, from concepts to creating assets to an assembly. The I broke it down because it's a very simple process. I mean, when you break it down, it's very doable. It's something that does take a little time to learn. You have to get familiar with like a program, with this, that, or the other. But it's the process for like every game goes through these goes through this process of creating things. And that does not just stand true for a console game. It stands true for games on your phone, apps, a lot of apps. Any design concept goes through these goes through these steps of becoming a realization, and it's really important for you guys to know this, because this is a field that anyone can get into with with a little bit of experience, and a lot of ideas, or even if you don't have a lot of ideas, if you have this one really good solid idea, and you get with a group of people who are really passionate about it's very easy to become a developer and to make games for apps, or not even designing for apps, for things that will even improve maybe daily life for people. The game art, the game making game art goes way beyond just making things for entertainment purposes. A lot of it can be used for practical purposes as well, because there are productivity apps. There's always a design that needs to be laid out, or the quote unquote art needs to be laid out for any kind of design feature. So I mean, you are, we are a very vital asset to the community, and we are a very vital asset to not just the entertainment industry, but we're a very important asset to life. So being an artist is a very powerful thing in today's world. My references for my presentation were Drawing Basics in Video Game Art, which is by Chris Solanowski. My other ones were Video Game Artists by Samar Kennedy, and my final piece of reference is www.gamasutra.com. It's a site for where jobs getting in the industry and things like that.